I recently watched a news story in which a young female high school athlete competing at a track meet was seen with a big thumbs down after she lost. So during the award ceremony, because she finished fourth, she is seen having a big thumbs down. And the question one would have to ask is why? Was she just a poor sport, just a sore loser? Well, let's figure that out. The first and third place finishers in that event were girls that she was competing against, other high school girls. The second place finisher, though, was a transgender boy. That's right. She got beat out by a boy, and rightfully, she complained. But the amazing part was, she was virtually the only one. The other two girls didn't step down in solidarity with her. And the question has to be asked is why? Why were they not standing in unison with her, protesting a wrong that definitely shouldn't have happened? Well, because it would cost them something. You see, at this point, the girls hadn't lost anything. They were winners. They got to move on. So the charade was fine because it didn't impact them, but it impacted her. And the audience, well, they didn't want to say anything because you know what? Their neighbor might see them or their boss or whoever else, or they couldn't virtue signal. And their silence spoke volumes that this kind of behavior was okay. So they weren't really interested in serving the greater good of the community. They were all selfish and self-interested in serving themselves, which got me to thinking of when did that change? When did it become a noble thing to be only motivated on yourself, being a narcissistic, selfish bastard, and not serving anyone? Well, back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and even into the 80s, being a member of a service club was a really big thing. The goal was that you were going to serve the community as a whole, and it was seen as something noble. For example, I pulled up the Rotary four-way test, which is still an organization around today, but being a member was so much more way back then. And they had a four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. So if you were a member, you were encouraged to measure everything against these four questions. The first one it posed was, is it the truth? So with this sporting event, is it the truth that she was beat out by another girl? No, it's not the truth. We were pretending and living a lie during this event. So as a member of Rotary, if I was a member, I'd have to say, no, as for the community good, we're not living the truth. Number two, is it fair to all concerned? Now you notice they didn't say equitable. They said, is it fair? Is it fair that a young woman lost out to a young man in a competition? Now, some of you say, well, but it's not fair if the young man doesn't win. No, but let's think of the greater hierarchy of events. This was a female ladies, girls sporting event where a man shouldn't have been in there in the first place, no matter what he thought he was. The bottom line is he wasn't a girl. So it wasn't fair to all concerned. Number three, will it build goodwill and better friendships? I don't think so. I don't see how it will. I don't see how living a lie will build better goodwill. We're not seeing it. We're not seeing better friendships because of it. It's not a reality. So number four, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Well, it'll be beneficial to the young man who finished second. I'm sure his fans, his family, or whatever are cheering for him. But it's not beneficial to all concerned because the young girl lost out. And as society, we lost out because we all lived a lie. It's not beneficial. So if you were looking at it when there were the four-way test of Rotary, you would have to say that event was a farce. But it still continued, and the only person who got chastised is the girl who spoke out. Why? Because she was living the truth. And the reality is that when you do that, it's going to come at a cost to you. And people are not prepared for that because we haven't encouraged them to be selfless. We are encouraging them now to be selfish. And the only way they should be seen as serving is by virtue signaling, but only when it doesn't cost them anything. You see, the moment it starts costing them something, either in financial terms, social status, whatever, most people are silent because their interest is always self-serving and not self-sacrificing. And the reason for that is, again, because we've drifted far from the Judeo-Christian ethic. which is all about selflessness. And the ultimate depiction of that is Jesus on the cross, who gave himself for people that didn't deserve it. And so we look at it and say, well, no, I deserve all the limelight. I deserve what I have. I'm not going to give up anything. We may for a family member, maybe, but we sure as heck aren't going to do it for a stranger. And certainly not for somebody who we don't even know or, is very similar to us. And that, my friends, is the problem. We've drifted far from the idea of community and serving others, and we're living in a world of serving ourselves first. And until that breaks, until that changes, until we're willing as a group, as a majority, to start being selfless, things aren't going to change. Anyway, I do appreciate it. Please post any comments you have in the comment section to this video. You can also watch some of my past videos. You can follow me in my my Rumble account. Sign up for all those sorts of things, and I will see you next time.